Hello, good morning. Goodbye. We're into the show. No, I'm joking. Hello, everybody. How you doing? Thank you for joining the wood. Thank you for watching the wood. As you can tell, it's just two of us right now. Hopefully, somebody else comes in. Steve McRae is supposed to be here, but he may have had. We don't know why. Whoa, wait a minute. Background noises started making noises and interrupt me. Steve may join. I don't know. He was supposed to be here, but some things happen sometimes. But I sent a couple other people the link in case they want to join. Let me talk about a few things before we get started. We're going to talk about the worst people today, and there's this list I found, and we may or may not disagree with some of the people on the list. We don't know. But now, tomorrow's Fan Friday. I do know that we've got Luna's going to be on. Who else? Engine Joe and some other people, I think. So that should be a good one. It's Fan Friday. Also, at the end of the show, as always, we'll take a Q&A, but tips and stuff. And I want to make a little announcement. The flag that I've been, doing is Oculus made another little jump at it this morning. So it's up to $130 now. So if you want it, you have to beat $130. And I don't know. We're not announcing the end date because we don't want anybody to jump in at the last minute. We want it to, people to honestly put their honest amounts on it. And so yeah, I'll let you know when. But right now the flag's up to $130. It's I will sign it. I'm taking it to VidCon to get other YouTubers to sign it, like Ben and Billy and other people. Whoever I can get to sign it, we'll sign it. And then when I get back, I'll ship it to you. What you have to do is put the money in you send the money to the PayPal and hope like hell nobody beats you. And if they do, you can outdo them. But well, anyways. So yeah, that's I forgot what I was gonna say.
We have the only human being that's known to have natural reverb in his voice. Brian is in the audience, and I've asked him if he would like to join us to discuss the worst human beings in history. Yes, send Brian a link on Twitter. We have a third.
So, yeah, okay. Well, I'll do that in a minute. I forgot what I was going to say. But anyways, if you want the flag, do that. And then at the end of the show, we'll take Q&A. We'll also take regular tips. Let me see. What do I think? And next week, I'm trying to have some guests on. I'm working on some guests right now. Quite possibly a couple of bigger guests. But tonight, the Ultra Perspective, I will be on the Ultra Perspective. That I think that is at 9 Eastern Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Tomorrow night, I'll be on the Drunken Peasants with guest Boogie 2988. So yeah, make sure you check out these couple things, and yeah. So we all yeah, she's trying to get it, Vash. She is trying to get it. I'm trying to pull up a Facebook here to where I can send the link out.
And Sinistrus may have an inside informant telling her the moment the bids increase, and it's totally not me.
It's totally Brian. Totally Brian.
Yeah, it's actually Bunny. Bunny's the inside agent that's dispersing information.
Well, so I was trying to throw none of my mods under the bus. I was saying Brian did it, but you went ahead and threw the other mod under the bus. I get it. I see how you are.
Maybe it was Gage. Maybe it was both of them.
Maybe it was Gage. It was definitely Gage.
Definitely. It's always Gage.
Definitely Gage. But anyways, I'm going to wait for Brian to get in here since Red Eye took over and invited somebody on the show without asking me. I'm kidding. Brian's always welcome. Brian's always welcome.
A bit too familiar with the position, Red Eye. You're fired.
But anyways, maybe some other people come in. But we're going to talk about the worst people. But until Brian gets here, I was just going to ask Red. Red, in your lifetime, the time, from the time that you can, have cognitive thought, who do you think the worst person is? In news or whatever.
Oh, there's a couple of candidates. There's a couple of tin pot dictators from South Africa that come to mind. A couple from South America. But it's really hard to move past sort of looking at Russia and the USA during the 20th century. And especially the second half of the 20th century, the Cold War. There was some seriously shady shit went down. There was proxy wars in at least 2 different countries that I can think of off the top of my head. But you can't point any real finger. So, you know what? I've got a candidate. The person that ordered the French Special Forces team to bomb the Rainbow Warrior while it was moored in a New Zealand harbour. That's basically Greenpeace's little yacht flagship. The fucking French attacked this thing and blew it up and killed a person. Yeah. They attacked hippies. That's pretty fucked up.
That is pretty fucked up. Attacking them peaceful ass little hippies. What's up, Brian? How you doing this morning?
Good day, Pimpos.
Pimpos.
Crikey.
That should never catch on, by the way, Pimpos. Anyway, well, since you're a lot older than either one of us, Brian.
older than dirt, mate. Carry on.
Since you've had cognitive thought, who you think one of the one of the worst people of all in your lifetime is?
Whose cognitive thought?
Your cognitive.
When did I have them?
I don't know.
1962.
Yeah.
Oof. Sorry. Ask the question again.
Like
who in my cognitive thought is the worst person ever?
Yeah. Well, no,
ever.
In your lifetime. In your lifetime.
Oh, in my lifetime.
In your lifetime, yeah.
Oh, geez. All right, I'm talk amongst yourselves for a minute because I'm gonna have to think about this one.
Yeah, it's so many candidates, isn't there? That's why
I had a couple of mine. Goffy is one of mine, I think.
There are a number of people. The most obvious answer is Baroness Thatcher.
Oh, the Iron Maiden.
Yeah. But then she only started a trend. So who's worse, the person that starts the trend or the people that go, yeah, this is great, we'll keep this going for 30 odd years?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Or do you go for the latest incarnation, which is, yeah, this is great. This has been really fucking people over for 30 years. Let's keep it. Let's double down. I don't know.
It's hard.
I don't know. It's a tough one you're asking. This could be a long show.
Yeah.
And that's just discussing the candidates, let alone coming to any conclusion. I mean, yeah. Theresa May, James Cameron, the guy who effectively fucked this country over in order to quell dissent in his own party.
Yeah. The group of people that declared that Iraq had weapons of mass destruction, which really were non-existent there were no weapons of mass destruction. And look at the fucking misery that decision caused by that one announcement. We're going in, weapons of mass destruction. How many Iraqi civilians have fucking been killed since that kicked off? That nice little cabal of people.
I'm glad you named one person like an ass, guys.
And you've also got to love the person that's currently enabling Israel, whilst at the same time destabilizing the Middle East potentially for another decade.
Yeah. Yeah, Donnie's had a pretty good week at being a massive fucking cunt.
Yeah,
really,
but I don't know if he's one of the worst. I mean, he's a fucking piece of shit, but I don't know if he's like the worst.
Well, hold on. Let's look at what he's done in the last 2 weeks. He took credit for the North Koreans stopping the nuclear testing, and that's bullshit. It's because their test site pancaked. Number 2, he said,
before you move on to number 2 there, Red. Yeah, there's another facet of this that people aren't fucking jenning. Yeah, and that is the fact that you've got 2 leaders in Korea, yeah, all right, who have been essentially at war with each other for, what, 30, 40 fucking years, something like that, longer, yeah? And they're sitting there and they're thinking to themselves, you know what? The difference is that we are actually at war with each other over. They're damn sight fucking petty when you consider the problem that we both have with some lunatic threatening to throw nuclear missiles around.
Yeah.
And let's not forget that Donald Trump voiced the immortal words, "What's the point in having nuclear weapons if I can't use them?"
Yeah, and he said his button was bigger and shinier than the fucking ones on the North Korean desk.
Hey, don't be button hating.
No, but Don's had a spectacular week. He's lied through his teeth about, and he's taking credit for North Korea's stopping the nuclear test. That's just bullshit. And we all know why.
Yeah.
Sorry, and then he's gone on.
I've just seen a comment I need to respond to, but yeah, carry on.
Then the whole Stormy Daniels thing and firing his lawyer, and then Rudy Giuliani within 24 hours of Trump said no payments were made. Giuliani comes out and says, yeah, there was payments made. Then Don comes out and says, look, Rudy's only been on the team for 24 hours. He's a new player, doesn't know what he's talking about. The next day, Rudy comes back out. Yeah, it looks like he's paid more than one fucking lady some hush money. It's like, this guy just keeps stacking the shit up. Here's the other thing. We're still waiting for a fucking ambassador from America. It's been 2 years. It's like when you make your allies wait that long for a direct line of communication, they start getting pissy and they start looking elsewhere to make friends with powerful people. And you know who we're in bed with heavily right now, giving them raw materials to make shit, including their new Army, Navy, and Air Force? China.
I'll give you a clue. It's not us.
It's China. It's fucking China. So, I actually do. I will throw an honourable mention Donnie's way.
Yeah, that's a definite honourable. Well, I was going to say my worst person is Brian.
Well, that's obvious, and we all know why.
Yeah, because you're beautiful, and I hate it. But let's get on to this list. This is not my list. This is a list that I found on list25.com. So it's user submitted and everything, and you can disagree or agree, and that's what we're here to talk about. But number 25 is Attila the Hun. Yeah,
he was an objectionable piece of shit.
Yeah. I read this a short bit of a description for anybody who don't know what Attila the Hun is. Attila was not just any Hun, he was the leader of the Huns, and under his rule, the Hunnic Empire consisted of almost anything that didn't fly a Roman flag. It has been said that there is no surviving first-person account of his appearance. I did not know that part, though, which is not surprising considering the fail of most people who interacted with him clearly. However, he was a man with a passion for invasion. In fact, it was a passion so great that on his way to pick up his bride, he decided to stop in Italy and destroy it. It's pretty fucked up.
Here's the thing with good old Atty.
Atty, I like that, Atty.
Yeah, old Atters. Now, see, you could make the argument that he was a man of the people, and that the fact that his army that essentially brought Rome to its knees consisted of people from every fucking tribe and tartan and stripe and background and flag and loyalty actually goes to say something quite positive about the man.
Okay.
He actually had the will of he had the back of the people.
Well, and he was a good leader.
It's also that. I mean, you don't have that sort of success if you're not, if you're a bit shit at leading people.
Yeah. What do you think, Red? What do you think about Addy, as Brian like to call him? I like that, Addy.
Old Atters.
History remembers you usually for one of two reasons, because you're an achievement of some sort, or you left piles of bodies so fucking high and fucking in so many places that history will never forget you, and he was one of those people.
Yeah.
It's just like
you've also got to remember.
He carved his name through literally through the fucking land wherever he went. You knew that the Huns had fucking come for a party.
Now, I'm open to correction on this, but it is my belief from my memory of history when I was at school, and just being here for forever. Yeah. Now, the Chinese actually built a Trumpian barrier against the Hun, and you can see that fucker from space.
Wow. I think you may be right about that. I've heard something like that before.
Yeah, I believe the Wall of China was built to keep the Hun westward.
Okay, but this is a pretty bad motherfucker though. If you think about it, on his way to his wedding, he stops by and just destroys Italy.
Well, yeah, I mean, what do you want him to do with his other hand?
Yeah, and someone touched on it. Yeah, Bonus read too. The big thing about these guys is, as for their time, they were brilliant tacticians with military strategy. Like they were playing 4D chess with other motherfuckers would just go bah, and you
had to, otherwise you would just fucking evaporate on the battlefield.
Now, fair warning, I'm not good with a lot of names and stuff, so I probably mispronounce it. But y'all know who I'm talking about here. Maximilian Robespierre. Robespierre. Okay, there you go. I've always had issues saying
Robespierre.
Robespierre. You know who it is, right?
Yeah, I know the name.
Generally speaking, revolutionaries tend to be for their courage and willingness to take a stand. Max, however, although being a leader in the French Revolution, decided that he would rather live on an infamy and instituted what has come to be known as the Reign of Terror. As we all know, anyone who starts something called a Reign of Terror belongs on a list of bad people. Well,
okay, all right. Here's the thing with Robespierre. Okay, now once again, French Revolution, you've got the perfect foundation for a man of the people argument. The thing that makes him stand out is the way that he industrialized getting rid of what his side perceived as the bad guys. Whereas old Atters went round with swords and spears, just sort of, liberally hacking away, Robespierre managed to get it so that he had a production line going. Yeah. Thanks to Madame la Guillotine.
La Guillotine.
And you got to admit, of all the ways to kill people, there can be nothing more terrifying than to find yourself put into her grips.
Yeah, dude, that would be a terrifying fucking experience. I always think that when somebody mentions the guillotine, I always think of fucking Braveheart, Mel Gibson. I don't know, dude, that's fucked up. They did use the guillotine, right? No, they just chopped his fucking head off. Never mind.
For him, I think they just used an axe.
Yeah, they did. They did. You're right. They did.
Yeah, I mean, the guillotine's very much a continental thing. I mean, we Brits over here, yes, nothing wrong with using a good old axe.
Yeah, there you go. Just axe a motherfucker.
I ask you a question, motherfucker.
Yeah. The next, Red Eye, did you have an opinion on that person?
Yeah, they were pretty fucking hardcore.
I got a question for you. Is Ming the Merciless on your list?
I don't know.
If not, why not?
But we do have Bloody Mary on the list. And
Bloody Mary.
Yes, a lot of people think, when you hear that name Bloody Mary, they think about going and standing in front of a mirror saying Bloody Mary 3 times or whatever. But
yeah, that's just pop culture.
Yeah, but anyways, she was a pretty bad bitch. Mary I of England, it turns out, had a passion for burning people at the stake, particularly people who opposed her ideologies, hence the nickname Bloody Mary.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. She was just following Catholic doctrine at the time. That was the prescribed remedy for certain sins against society. Yeah. And she was just good at it. That was all.
See, and okay, we do have a lot of fucked up religious people today, no doubt. But a lot of people, compared to what was going on back then, you didn't believe in God, they'd burn your ass.
Well, here's the thing. There was absolutely nothing illegal. If you were a peasant, there was absolutely nothing illegal if your lord of the manor decided to come down to the village one day, took a dislike to the way, that you were looking at him, and chopped your hands off.
Yeah. Very vicious back in those days. They needed
exactly.
they needed some weed.
You needed to have what they used to call grit. They used to need real grit to survive in them days. And if you were a peasant, there was a lot to be said for being subservient, because that was how you managed to live till next week.
Yeah.
Anywho, next one. Next
Emperor Hirohito. Emperor Hirohito. Okay.
Ooh, here we go.
My names, man, you know, my pronunciation of things are not very good. This Japanese emperor was the mastermind behind something that came to be known as the Rape of Nanking. What was the capital of China? Raping the capital city of the most populous nation on earth. This list is for you. I don't know what that last part was. He was a pretty mean motherfucker, though.
You want to take this one, Red?
Take it, Red. I'm
not too familiar with this guy. I know that the Japanese did some really seriously fucked up shit to China during World War II, but I am not familiar with this character, so please educate me.
Yeah, because I'm not that familiar. I've heard of it, but not that familiar with it. So,
well, again, we're talking Japanese emperors. Now, the Japanese had a very brutal feudal system. And when the Portuguese and the Spanish came over in, 15th century, they did some really fucked up things to the Japanese mentality. So, yeah. And then we've got the context of war. Now, in war, there's only one way really to bring that war to an end, and that is to take out the head of your enemy. And that means taking out, in the case of China and Japan, that would mean taking out the capital city. So, yeah, war is brutal anyway. I don't think you'll find a single battlefield that anybody could say, yes, that really was. That was a good show. Yes, everybody behaved themselves. Nobody had to be sent off the field. No penalties incurred. No, that just doesn't happen.
No.
Shit gets real on the battlefield.
My browser's starting to shit itself a little bit, so I have to wait a minute before I read the next one. There we go. Here we go. Well, I thought it was. Anyway, it's Genghis Khan.
Oh.
Even though my browser's completely shit, it's okay. If you know, everybody should know who Genghis Khan is. But anyways, founded what would eventually become the largest continuous empire in history. Nearly managed to conquer not just one, but two continents. Compared to many people on this list, he was relatively... however, at least offering up my browser shit, up the chance to surrender before proceeding to destroy everything in sight. Just to paint a picture of what that could look like, some historians have estimated that the Iranian population didn't return to pre-Mongol levels until sometime in the late 20th century.
Yeah, so the key was, what would happen is it'd be like you'd sit in your city behind the walls and you'd hear, yeah, g'day. Genghis sent me. You guys want to join our party, or we're going to come here? We will rape your fucking pot plants, people. And if they were smart, they would just open up the gates and invite everyone in and become part of the empire, or else, kind of like what the Klingons did, they'd just go in and go, and then just be a crater and some rotting corpses left, and this dust cloud in the distance, which would be the fucking army of moving off to their next fucking target.
Yeah, that was pretty rough, man. They like, fuck you, we're gonna take over. What do you think, Brian?
I knew you had to have Ming the Merciless in there somewhere. I mean, let's face it, that has to be the character that he was modeled over, Genghis Khan, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is probably going to be news to the millennials and people that don't remember black and white things.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, how often did Ming the Merciless lay out the hand of friendship to Flash Gordon, and all he had to do was join him.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's obvious reference.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Oh, that's such a
Yeah, I agree with Lamort. Your rendition of the Mongols.
Yeah, g'day,
Knock,
mate.
knock, knock. G'day. Genghis sent me.
G'day, Cobber. Well, here's the other thing too. There's now, I'm not sure about what the historians would say, but apparently they've never found Genghis's tomb.
Oh, really?
And that would be now, if that's correct, and if I'm not correct, someone in the chat knows better. Please correct me. But that would be quite fun, because I imagine that the amount of fucking goods that were buried with that fucking man would be significant.
No, mate, you got it all wrong. Genghis Khan actually is on some planet somewhere arguing with the Birdmen, and
Yeah.
he never died. That's why they never found his grave.
He's hanging out with Elvis and Jim
Somewhere,
Morrison. Yeah. Here's the guy who's on my list, Muammar Gaddafi. That dude was pretty fucking rough. He ensuing soldiers figured to help them rape Viagra to help them rape and kill women indiscriminately, executing his own people and sponsoring international terrorists. He was only the second still serving the state leader in history to have arrest warrants issued against him. Translation: he was really, really bad at his job. So bad, in fact, that even Fidel Castro described him as being reckless.
Yep.
I would actually offer up, the exact opposite of that, given that Gaddafi was put in place by the Western powers that be.
Mm-hmm.
I would say that he was doing exactly what he was employed to do. Lockerbie
bombing. That was his fault. He ordered that. That fucking plane blew up over the top of that fucking town.
Yeah. Yep. He was a pretty mean motherfucker. And like you said, he ordered rape and stuff. Right? I mean, the raping and killings of women around there. He was a pretty rough motherfucker.
Well, you've got to rape a helicopter pretty hard to make it explode.
Yeah, you do. You do. You do. But he was he was on my list of like the people that I remember in my lifetime. Because I just remember hearing about him a lot. And he's kind of rough fella.
I drove through Lockerbie the other last week.
He also died like a rat. I watched that live on TV. There was a fucking mob. They've grabbed him, and he was basically off the side of the road. And it was like a sewer culvert, and there was like a mob of 50 people, and no one in that mob can identify who shot him. But apparently, it was like some 16-year-old kid just reached in and grabbed his sidearm when they first grabbed him, and just went bang and fucking nailed him, and it was done.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people. I mean, people don't understand. His people, the people, they said fuck this shit, and they went against it, and they took his ass out.
A mob killed Gaddafi, the man that ruled over that country for decades with the iron fist and used fear, ended up dying in the dirt like a fucking rabid dog with a bullet put in his skull by just a kid that had been knowing nothing but violence and warfare and international fucking sanctions. And it's just sad that people have to fucking go through that shit. But he is quite dead now, so, and he's the dude, he never quite got his nukes, did he? That's why he died. If he had his nukes, he'd probably still be here.
Yeah.
Reap what you sow. That's what they say.
Yeah. Ayatollah Khomeini's the next one.
Actually, no, I'm sorry. Carry on. There was a
that's okay. Go ahead.
It's the Ayatollah of fucking rock and roller, baby.
What was your thought, Brian?
No, it was just an expansion on the reap what you sow, and I'm just wondering which porn star it is that's going to fuck Donald Trump, and he's going to have to get the attorney, so he's going to have to get Avenatti on the case.
Yeah. Okay, he's the Ayatollah of rock and roll, like Red Eye said. Although the ruthlessness of this man never cased never ceased. God, I need glasses. Ceased to astound the modern world. We at List 25 were not surprised by his lack of good behavior. How do you expect your parents to discipline you with a name like Ayatollah Aseed or something? That's true. But anyways, he was a pretty rough fucker too. You don't take that one, Brian? Talk about him. You know about him.
I missed the question. I'll be honest, because I was sidelined by the chat. Wake Up Dead says this should be called Bad Histories. Guys have got some shit totally wrong. I just wanted to point out, that the facts is what Pimp is reading out. What I'm throwing in and what Red is throwing in is our own personal opinion, and it's our own, efforts at humor and just trying to make this shit entertaining.
Yeah, exactly. It's I'm the little descriptions that I give are the little facts, and then we talk about what we, this is an entertainment show, so it's supposed to be. When I bring Brian on, it isn't so much, but still.
Well, it's titled "The Worst People Ever," so it would be a shit show if you didn't have one of the worst people ever on it.
Exactly.
And I did throw in that if I was incorrect about anything, please correct me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I did as well, at least once.
So suck a dick and shut the fuck up. No, I'm joking.
Okay, so here we go. I said the China Wall was built to keep the Huns out. Wrong. Mongols is the answer. Okay. Yeah, absolutely correct, and correction conceded.
Yeah, okay.
15 internet points to you, young man.
Yeah. Now, what's your thoughts on the Ayatollah Khomeini?
Again, puppet put in place by Western powers, did his job, and was, cunt by all measures.
Yeah, he was a pretty big cunt. What do you think, Red? Would you have dinner with this dude?
If dinner consisted of me sitting on a mortar about 2 kilometers from his position, lobbing shells at him, yes, I would love to have dinner with the Ayatollah of rock and roller. He took a place that was probably as cool as what Australia and America was. The shortest miniskirts in the Middle East were in Iran before that motherfucker took over. It was basically westernized like a motherfucker. Yeah. It was a cool place to go, right? And then the Ayatollah come in and turn it into an Islamic clusterfuck, and everyone's been modeling their attempts at Islamic clusterfucks off this guy's model because he had the backing of certain people who probably scratching their head going, that was probably one of our biggest mistakes back in the fucking.
Yeah, you want to point. You want to point the finger at middle-aged Muslim paradigms being brought back into the modern age. Yeah, you can thank this guy.
Yeah. Well, I was actually trying to do a good segue with that dinner comment, because you'll see why next, but y'all went on to the little talk. That's fine. But the next one's Jeffrey Dahmer. See what I was going with the dinner thing?
Clarice. Yes.
Not only did he kill 17 men and boys, the murders all involved rape, dismemberment, necrophilia, and cannibalism. To make things worse, he somehow got the idea that he could turn his victims into submissive zombies by drilling holes in their skulls and filling them with boiling water while they were still alive. Yeah. Wow. Dahmer was fucked up, dude. Dahmer was...
Yeah, I've only got 2 comments on this guy. One is ew, and the other is...
Fava beans.
Yes, fava beans.
Yeah, but Dahmer was fucking wacky do as hell. And I knew a guy that went, a preacher dude who went to the prison Dahmer was and had it set down and got to visit Dahmer. And I asked the preacher, I was like, he was an older man, I was young then. I asked him, I was like, wow, how was he? Like, he said he was weird.
I think you'd have to be. I think you would have to be.
Yeah. He was weird. But anyways, Dahmer was twisted. Anyways,
if I'm going to just throw a wrench in here, start a bit of controversy. Got to have a bit of controversy. What is actually wrong as long as you're from a different population? So, you know, there's none of that genetic bullshit to consider. Yeah. What is actually wrong with eating human? It's only just another meat after all.
Well, that's like, well, okay, yeah. I mean, people have their own set of ethics and morals and all that shit, and some people actually don't find cannibalism that bad.
I mean, if you think about it, just on the practicalities, okay, you've got a fuck ton more land freed up for agriculture. Yeah. All right. You've got less animal slaughter going on, so a reduction in animal cruelty levels.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, overall, it could be a good thing for the planet.
Now, here's a question, and I've heard this, and I mean, honestly, I may be dumb here. I don't know, but I've heard this my whole life. If you eat too much of a human, well, doesn't it fuck with your mind something, or like?
Yeah, here's the deal. There's kuru. That's one disease. There's another disease. There's several diseases that it's just a really bad idea from a health perspective that you don't, and especially now in New Guinea, for instance, there's one you get it from eating. I think it's other meats as well. But what happens is it basically turns your brain into a sponge. And you
okay, so who eats the brains of any other animal these days?
Well,
my dad eats pork brains.
The tribes in New Guinea were doing it, and that's where kuru's been found. But I'm just looking on Google, and it's all right. We'll go to medical. There's side effects that comes with several health risks. So we'll go to this article.
Well, you've got Creutzfeldt-Jakob with beef. We found a way, you know, to eliminate that.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, my dad eats pork brains, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Pork brains and eggs.
Right. Here's another problem. Is basically nutritionally we're fucking pretty worthless.
Oh, you mean like rabbits?
Yeah. Well, let's see. Entire body's approximately 81,000 calories. The thighs about 10,000. The heart 700. Close to half of these calories come from adipose or fat tissue, which makes up the less healthy option for dieters. So basically half of our tissues adipose or fat tissue, which is not that good to eat.
Yeah.
Some anecdotal accounts suggest we taste somewhere between pork and veal, while a culinary robot identified us as bacon.
Okay, so basically what you're saying is we'd have to implement some sort of breeding program, and that would just completely sour the whole deal.
Well, no, here's the next bit. Eating human meat becomes risky due to the presence of prions, versions of normal protein that have their shape altered, losing their function and becoming infectious. These distorted proteins can influence other similar healthy proteins and change them, causing a chain reaction, creating disease. Specifically, prion disease creates holes in the brain, giving it spar. Well, that's what they called kuru in New Guinea.
Yeah. I tell you,
okay, so there's your starting stock for the for the breeding program.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, though, Brian. When you said was anything wrong, you were talking about, like, you know, morally, right?
No, I was just talking, just you know, generally.
Okay.
Morally, yeah, there's the discussion to be had there as well. You know, but then if you're going to have that discussion, then you've got to open the door to, okay, what about anything that's been given a name? Because the idea of eating pets falls into exactly the same emotional response as eating people.
Yeah, it does. You're right on that one.
And that's regardless of whether that pet is in fact a food animal.
Yeah, and certain animals, if you eat, people go fucking insane. Like if you hear about people eating a dog, man, people go crazy. But you know, it's okay to eat a deer.
Yeah. Here's another problem. Unlike viruses, bacteria, fungi, or parasitic infections, which contain DNA or RNA, prions don't, which means they can't be eradicated with radiation or heat. They could be present in any nervous tissue, including our organs and muscles. However, they are most common in the brain and spinal nerve tissue. But that's your central. That means it can travel anywhere to the body pretty quick. It's just a bad idea generally to do that, which is why our species doesn't feast on itself and we farm cattle and other livestock.
Star Wars was right, and then we've got these strange prions, and that's what makes us different from the animals. I get it now.
Yeah. Well, moving on to the list, Nero is next on the list.
Yeah.
What the fiddler of Rome?
Yeah, yet another deranged Roman emperor. It's hard to be worse than having your own mother executed and poisoning your stepbrother. Oh, wait, how about burning prisoners in your garden at night as a source of light? That's pretty fucked up.
Yeah, well, you do some pretty fucked up things if you think you are God, which the likes of his ilk did.
Yeah. Yeah, he absolutely thought he was God, and a lot of them back then thought they were God. Well, I don't know if they actually thought they were God. They just wanted people to treat them like they were God.
Well, here's the thing. There was a lot of cultural influence on Rome from Egypt.
Mm-hmm.
And that would include a lot of the paradigms concerning pharaohs being on their way to godhood and yada, yada, yada. And you've got to also remember that in Roman culture, in the Roman heritage, you had the likes of Hercules and various other heroes from Greek and other origin that did ascend the god stairhood. Yeah, they did ascend to godhood. So it's absolutely within the paradigm for a Caesar to consider themselves a god on earth.
Okay. Well, Red Eye considers himself a god on earth.
Well, some of us are, some of us aren't.
I'll tell you somebody else that kind of considered himself as a god like us. The next guy who was a very fucked up motherfucker, Jim Jones.
Oh.
Most people know, but I'm gonna read it. The leader of the People's Temple, a cult that was forced to relocate from San Francisco to the jungles of Guinea, whatever. Where I always fucking having a hard problem. Where he managed to convince over 900 of its members to kill themselves with cyanide. That's the largest loss of American civilian life in one event prior to 9/11.
Nah. Jimmy Jones was all right. The Monkees was an epic group. I mean, come on.
Hey. But it wasn't actually cyanide. I heard it wasn't cyanide.
I'm not sure what it was, but I've seen some footage from that place, and let's just say not every one of those 900 people willingly drunk that shit. There were a couple of people that went, yeah, and it was like old ladies trying to protect kids, and they just sent blokes in and fucking forced it down their fucking throat. Yeah. They murdered people.
And this motherfucker didn't even take it himself.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, see, this is what happens when you get to cult of personality. Yeah, things always come to a head, and you either go out, on top, as it were, or everybody concerned has to deal with the fucking come down. Yeah.
Have you ever heard the tapes? Listen to the tapes of that. That was actually recorded when they did it. When they did and I listened to it for like 2 hours because I'm a morbid motherfucker. It is so creepy, man. Of course it's creepy, but it was just like I'm the type that will listen and watch stuff that disturbs the fuck out of me, but just I can't turn away from it. And
I went through a phase of that in the early 90s during the early internet when access to just about everything just suddenly opened up.
Yeah,
and there are downsides to that.
Oh, but absolutely.
Wake Up Dead makes a very good observation. They were in fact shooting people towards the end.
Yeah, they were. And like Red said, they were absolutely forcing people to take the. That's where the whole, that whole slang. Well, they drank the Kool-Aid. That's where that came from. So,
and just for the record, as Landon, I think that was Landon that dropped that one.
Yeah.
It wasn't Kool-Aid. Kool-Aid has become like Band-Aid.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. It's like for a long time, people called every fucking print out of a piece of paper a Xerox.
Yeah, or Quickie Mart.
Yeah, or Q-tip. You like Q-tips, right?
Or
There's
Q-tip.
many.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, the next guy is Saddam Hussein. Saddam.
Another puppet.
For over 20 years, Saddam served as the president of Iraq, instituting genocide campaign against the Kurds, Shabaks, the Yazdas, Assyrians, and Mandarins. What's more, he seemed to have an impulsive desire to randomly invade neighboring countries. And when things didn't go his way, he would just take out his frustration on his own people with poison gas.
Yep.
Yeah.
He was a pretty right. Wasn't there? I've heard this now. I'm not sure if it's actual fact, but I've heard that like one of his men backsashed him one time, so he cut off his tongue and hung it up on the wall to let everybody know that you don't do that.
Sounds like an embellishment, but it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, that's what I said. I don't know if it's true. Like that's why, but I have heard that it's fucking crazy.
I remember watching the day that Baghdad fell when the Americans rolled in, and it was fucking really funny. There was this high-ranking Iraqi army official, and he was standing. Is it the Tigris, Brian, that runs through the capital?
Think it could be, yes.
He's standing on one side of the Tigris River, right? This dude's there's like a big press gathering. He's like chest puffs out. We will fight the Americans. We will stop them. Fuck blah blah blah. And in the background, you just see this wall go and fall down, and a fucking M1A Abrams drives over the top of the fucking wall, and the turret goes and looks at the fucking TV crew, and this Iraqi general just drops and runs towards his fucking limo and jumps in it, and they scatter, and the TV crew's left standing around, and next thing you know, Bradley rolls in behind the goddamn M1A, and their turrets looked over and they've realised it was press, and just they were looking for snipers and shit. They rolled in, and while the Iraqi general's going, we will fight them at the beaches and all this, it's like, as soon as he sees the tank, he goes, oh, fuck, and off he went. Funniest thing I've seen on him ever.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy. And I watched it live when they hung his ass.
I still haven't watched that. I couldn't bring myself to, because I heard it was brutal as fuck.
Yeah, it was. And the thing about it was, even though he was a crazy fucker, don't get me wrong, that dude went out like a boss, though. He went out cussing them for telling him, he probably was shitting himself on the inside, but he went out like a fucking boss, man.
Yeah, he wasn't taking it silently.
No, he wasn't.
He lived like a fucking rat, though, for the fucking last months of his life. That was he was literally living in a hole in the fucking ground in a shitty shack.
Yeah, but, and again, I'm playing devil's advocate here, but you've got to find a certain level of empathy for somebody who's essentially dangling at the end of a rope because, from his perspective, he's just been fucked over by the very people that put him there to do what he did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He just brutalized too many fucking people from too many factions and ended up with no one on his side in the end.
He let it go to his head and he abused his position, but hey, that's what they wanted him to do.
Yeah. Well, yeah. The next is Leopold of Belgium.
I don't know this one, so I'm learning something.
Oh, yes.
It's impressive that from such a small country could come such a colossal tyrant. Deciding that his country wasn't big enough, Leopold did what any leader would do and went to Africa to start his own. And what is present-day Democratic Republic of Congo, he managed to enslave, torture, and kill over 3 million people just so he could sell some ivory.
Yep.
Jesus.
That's pretty rough. 3 million fucking people?
Yep.
Whoa.
Holy fucking hell.
Yep.
Wow.
I feel really bad.
Why the Congo is fucked up still to this day.
Yes, it is. It's fucking...
3 million people. I feel really bad when I fuck over one person. It's like I just feel compelled to apologize and try. Imagine fucking over 3 million people just to get something you wanted to. Oh, wow. I'm not such a bad person.
Vash said he really
you're still pretty bad though, Red.
Vash said he really wanted that ivory.
He did.
Apparently. That's man. I've heard of the guy. I just didn't know it was that many people.
Yeah. The one of the interesting bits that you read there was the small tin pot country with a
colossal tyrant.
What's the word? Aims at grandeur. You got to remember that the guy was in a small tin pot country, surrounded by huge empire builders: France, England, Spain. Yeah. So he was under some pressure to actually also as well the Russian Empire on the other side. Yeah. So he was under a bit of pressure to get a bit of status amongst his peers. Yeah.
Pretty fucked up. Well, the next guy.
Fucked up.
Yeah, the next guy is somebody that well, of course everybody knows who this motherfucker is Osama bin Laden. As the face of modern terrorism and the founder of Al Qaeda, he lived a good portion of his life with a $25 million bounty placed on his head by the FBI. In spite of that, he managed to evade capture for the better part of the 3 presidential administrations before tasting American steel.
Fuck yeah, man. He was a world hide and seek champion for ages.
He was, man. And he was a dick.
Oh, dude, he'd get up and he'd do like the cheeky videos with his fucking AK from a cave somewhere going, can't find me.
But now I'm going to say something that's really controversial, I guess. But like we mentioned earlier, okay, he was a piece of shit, no doubt. But this son of a bitch's leadership skills is pretty fucking phenomenal.
Yeah. I think it was more about the status of his family and the amount of fucking money that he had more than anything else. He did train that. Now, from what I heard, and if I get this wrong, chat, I'm going to throw this out there, please correct me. He was maybe kind of supported by certain departments from certain countries that may have started with a C and had an I and an A in it. And they may have funded him and given him groovy things like the first era of shoulder-fired surface-to-air missiles to play with in the highlands against the attack helicopters that Russia may have had in a certain place known as maybe Afghanistan. And that turned around from the Mujahideen to become what we referred to as the Taliban. So America kind of created their own enemy to fight.
Yeah.
Can I be the person to voice the obvious elephant in the room?
Yeah.
And that is ask the question, why, when an entire nation has been grounded, do you have an authorized airplane in your skies carrying the rest of the Bin Laden family?
Because money talks and bullshit walks, mate. The Bin Ladens are filthy, stinking, fucking rich. Now, I'd read somewhere that apparently every time you buy a can of soda, they have the patent to fucking something to do with soda. Or I don't know, but they get paid from this one report. Now, it could have been a big stretch to read it like that, but wouldn't surprise me. These motherfuckers have more money than we could comprehend. It's like they have more money than some countries. It's frightening.
Yeah.
It's just
the only
frightening.
Other thing that I want to say before I go and make a cup of tea and let the hate flow in the chat room, and it's just literally to make 2 film references. One is Dune, Frank Herbert's Dune, with the Mohadib reference, and the second is 1984. And yes, I'm going to go and make some tea whilst you discuss what I'm actually driving at with that.
And let's discuss where we ended up finding that motherfucker. How many times do you remember John Stewart had the goddamn fucking Pakistani president on his show, made him a cup of tea, right? And he's giving him a cup of tea, he slid over and he's just gone. As soon as he slid the tea, he goes, "Where's Bin Laden?" And the bloke goes, "I do not know." Well, guess what? Bin Laden was living in Pakistan, approximately 2.5 miles away from one of the finest golf courses in a city that houses the military academies where all the rich Pakistani kids go to learn to become little fucking generals. And he'd been living there for a significant amount of time. The neighbours remember if the kids were playing ball next door and the ball went over the fence, they never saw that ball again. Someone would walk out of their house with a check or some money and just hand them the money and go, "Fuck off." They'd shred the ball looking for bugs and shit. They were that paranoid. They burnt their trash. They did everything. And what did they end up finding? Bin Laden huddled in front of this shitty little TV watching porn. That's what they found.
Having just played around on the golf course.
Yeah, well, no, I don't. It would be funny if they had footage of him fucking smacking balls around for a few years wearing like some really nice
Well, apparently he was if he was watching porn. He's making it up.
This is the Morning Wood. Sorry, I'll take that.
Yes, this is the Morning Wood, my friend. We got a little perversion in there.
Right, yes. I'm going to go perverse
that,
my top.
The next... Go ahead, buddy.
Yeah, I was just going to say, so that was interesting. The Pakistanis, but swear to this day, we didn't know he was there.
The next dude, now you're going to have to help me with his fucking name. Mao Zedong. Is that am saying that right?
Now, I'm probably going to fuck this up. That's a Chinese, this is from the communist fucking uprising, I do believe.
Yeah.
Chat, if I'm wrong, please correct me. I'm old and...
Well, I'm going to read you the description. A revolution is not a dinner party, nor an essay, nor a painting, nor a piece of embroidery. It cannot be advanced softly, gradually. Why is he going through all this shit? I don't know. Anyways, well said, Mel. Exactly. Oh, that was a quote he made. Okay. Exactly why he's made sure to. Okay, it doesn't really describe what he did. It was just they just put a quote that he said one time. That's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm not very well versed on.
Me neither. I don't really know much about it.
Yeah, the last 150 years of history in Asia, to be quite honest, other than World War II, I'm familiar with that. So I apologise, Chad, if I fucked that one up, but yeah.
Yeah. North Korea, they're saying.
North Korea, right. Yeah, well, that explains a lot. Fucking hell.
I don't know much about the dude. I'll be honest with you. I don't know really. This one I don't really know a lot of. I like his name, Zedong.
We're only told what we know about North Korea from the fucking media, and after what's been happening the last few years, I really don't trust a lot of what was said about North Korea back when. Obviously, we've got some serious issues there, but hopefully when the country opens up, we'll be able to get up there and have a look and learn about the place a bit better. It should be interesting if they open the country up.
Now, this next dude, Red, I know you know about. Idi Amin.
Eddie Amin. Eddie, what have you done for me lately, Eddie? I killed a shitload of fucking people. That's what I did, said Eddie.
Yeah. Few people in history can say they are directly responsible for killing 500,000 people. And this Ugandan dictator is one of them. In power from 1971 to 1979, his resume included human rights abuse, political repression, ethnic persecution, many million, killings. Anyway, this goes on. Corruption and gross economic mismanagement. He was pretty fucking rough.
Oh yeah, look, South Africa, the African continent. There's a lot of candidates there, and Eddie was a special case. He had a taste for fucking death, and it was in the 70s. So I was only a kid back then, but I still remember when people were referring something really, really, really fucking bad.
Mm-hmm.
Eddie's name was dropped as a reference to be the qualifiers. Like, that's fucking Eddie Amin fucked up.
Yeah, he was a mean motherfucker, dude. Very, very just mean. He reminds me of though. You, Red Eye.
Oh, thanks, boss.
Because we all know Eddie Amin.
Oh, Idi Amin.
Yeah, that fucker was pretty rough.
Again, another puppet. He was actually educated and militarily trained in the UK.
Yes.
Yes, he was. Yes, he was. I heard that.
That's funny how they call. There's a lot of references to. Now, what did they used to call Mugabe? Oh, Landers told me this name. It's a reference to somewhere in England where he's apparently been to. Oh, they call him something man. I forget what the fucking reference is. They call it that
Sandringham?
No, I forget. If Landon pops in later, I'll ask him what his nickname was, but he'll know it. Yorkshire man. That's it.
Oh, Yorkshire man.
Yeah, they call him Yorkshire man. I think it was Yorkshire man.
I think it's Yorkshire.
No, Yorkshire.
I know. I'm just fucking around. Goddamn, Brian.
Hey, I'm in the Commonwealth, mate. I know what's up.
I hear you, buddy. I'm in a common poor. Yeah. The next guy is Dr. H.H. Holmes. One of the first documented serial killers in American history. This fucker was fucked up. He built a hotel specifically for the purpose of killing his guests. Located less than 2 miles from the 1893 Chicago World's Fair, he would lure guests to Murder Castle, where he had rigged all the bedrooms with gas lines, soundproofing, lime pits, etc. He would then proceed to torture and kill them, ultimately dissecting their bodies and selling their pieces to medical schools.
Well,
the clue's right there in the name, you know. Okay, yeah, honey, I've booked us a week in Murder Castle.
Wow.
Well, yeah, he was. I watched a movie about this dude when I died, and he was a fucked up motherfucker, man. And the thing about it was, he was selling, like they said, he was selling the parts of his victims' body pieces to medical schools.
Is this the thing that the Bates Motel is based on?
It possibly could be. I've never thought about that. Maybe. I've never. You know what? It could be. That's a good question.
Because a lot of this horror stuff is based, albeit loosely, in a lot of instances, but it's based on something.
Yeah, on that. Well, a lot of movies got the idea from Ed Gein, right? Like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, a bunch of them. Ed Gein was
a lot of them are blatant about it.
Yeah.
But even some of the the celebrated fiction has a lot of research behind it.
Yeah. I think most horror movies probably are stealing from some kind of event that actually happened. Not stealing, but I said steal. You know what I mean, though.
Well, I don't know. I think things like what's that one? Is it It?
Yeah.
Or The Shining?
Mm-hmm.
I prefer The Shining myself.
The Shining.
Yeah, or that one where you've got that little midget woman.
Poltergeist.
Poltergeist. Thank you. Yeah.
Go towards Lake Caroline.
Caroline.
Then halfway later, it's like, no, don't go towards the Lake Caroline. It's like, make up your fucking mind. You're confusing the poor kid. Jesus Christ.
She's only
Get your ass back here, Caroline.
She's only 6.
Yeah. But you know what? I never thought about it. But a couple of those movies, like you said, though, like Bates Motel, The Shining,
Amityville Horror.
Well, Amityville was based on the actual house, wasn't it?
Yeah, I got the poster for the movie still. It's fucking.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy. Next guy.
Bowl loves that place.
Cujo's an easy one. Every neighborhood has got a psychotic dog somewhere.
True. I've noticed something about this list, though. It's very sexist toward men. There's only been one woman.
Is it Myra Hindley?
No, it was Bloody Mary, remember?
Oh, yeah.
There may be another one on the way. I don't know. But Vlad the Impaler is the next guy.
Yeah, now that guy was seriously fucked up. You remember earlier on I said, early 90s, I did a bit of, okay, so let's see what really horrifies me. I found it. It's impaling.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
Now, in the early 90s, I discovered a site in Russia where, basically it was impale porn. And there are people who have disappeared in Russia that have appeared on a pole.
Well, I'm going to impale Red Eye next year when I go to Australia with my penis.
Sounds like a plan.
Right?
But anyways,
hold on, let's quickly explore Vlad. Apparently,
that's what I'm going to do. Read the description.
Oh, go for it. Sorry, boss.
That's fine. You know you belong on this list when you are the sole inspiration for the most famous vampire novel of all time, Dracula. And to give you an idea of why, here's a list of some of his favorite pastimes: nails in heads, cutting off limbs, blinding strangulation, burning, cutting off noses and ears, mutilation of sexual organs, especially in the case of women, scalping, skinning, exposure to the elements or to animals, and boiling alive. This motherfucker was fucked up, yo.
Yeah, yep. But he was a very, very tortured soul. If you actually look into the history of the man, the treatment that he underwent himself at the hands of, I believe it was the Turks, and the political machinations that went on surrounding, I believe it was his brother, and how he actually ascended to the throne in that region. Yeah, there was a fucked up individual that went through some really fucked up things from a very early age.
Well, he was sent to live with the Turks as a part of an arrangement to try and keep peace. And
he was ransomed
that's where he learned to
into
torture
slavery.
every motherfucker. That's where he learned all the sick shit, the impalement, the fucking, and then end up to freak out his enemies. What he'd do is impale someone, and he'd get a goblet, and he'd just go and impale them, and then just hold the cup up to the fucking pole where the blood would be pouring down. He'd start drinking the blood in full view of the enemy fucking forces, and they'd all just go, "Fuck that! He's a demon!" And that's apparently, Chad, if I'm wrong, please correct me, where the legends of the blood drinking started, and the whole vampire legends were. He used to quite literally drink the blood of his enemies in full view of fucking everyone, and they'd just go, "Wow."
Yeah. That's what the description said. Dracula was inspired by and vampire. So
kind of partially. I mean, if you've ever read the original story, then you can understand why. Because you're talking about a part of Europe that is still pretty heavily steeped in its legends and its history. It's very mountainous, it's very deserted, and people are few and far between because it's not an easy place to live. So,
yeah.
I mean, obviously, you do have, modernization because, fucking current year argument.
Yeah.
But it's not always been that way.
Okay, this next one. Judas? Yeah.
What, Judas Iscariot Judas?
Yeah. He stabbed God in the back for 30 pieces of silver. Enough said. That's what it says.
Sorry.
That's what I'm saying. We'll just go to the next one. Paul Potts, the next one.
The fucking killing fields. This guy may hold a record, actually. There are millions dead. Millions of dead people because of that man.
Yeah. There's a lot of them. And in 1970s, he actually managed to relocate the entire population of Cambodia onto farms where they slaved away planting seeds. that would grow into food that no one would be allowed to eat. And this is why we study economics. So that unlike our pal Pol Pot, we don't starve 1/3 of our population to death. But that's not all. Pot and the Khmer Rouge were all also.
Khmer Rouge.
Okay, Khmer Rouge. Sorry. Like I said, my reading. We're also responsible for mass executions in places known as the killing fields. And although no one can be certain of the death toll, it has been said that in order to save ammunition, the executions were often carried out by using spades, axes, hammers, and sharpened bamboo sticks.
It was the most brutal raid. Basically, what he did was took this beautiful Asian country that was coming into its own and plunged it back into the fucking dark ages and just went, everyone abandoned the cities, you're all now fucking farmers. Engineers, nah, you're a farmer. Doctor, nah, farmer. All of it. And it just plunged the country back into the fucking nearly the Stone Age. And they're still, they're starting to come back now, thank God. But there's a movie out there called The Killing Fields, and there's a journalist that actually survived it and brought it to the attention of the world, and it's fucking horrifying.
Can I be a farmer, please? No, you can be a... Oh, yeah, okay.
You can be a farmer twice. Congratulations.
Yeah, you can do it twice.
Yeah. And if you fucking they thought that you weren't telling the line, you disappeared, and that's why they called these places the killing fields. They uncovered just an ocean of fucking bones, a fucking ocean.
Yeah, Pimp. Before you get to the next one, could you scan down and just because we need some reassurance in the chat room because people are waiting for Hitler, and Sinistrus is obviously waiting for Stalin because he's worse than Hitler.
Well, Hitler's coming up. He really is. He's coming up.
Okay, so yeah, Hitler is coming up in the next segment. But first, these messages from our sponsor.
Elizabeth Bathory.
That's where you can, hit. Oh, no, you can't do that.
Our sponsor today is Elizabeth Bathory.
Elizabeth's bathroom. Ooh.
Bathory, a Hungarian countess from the 1500s who has been labeled the most prolific female serial killer in history and has come to be known as the Blood Countess, our Blood Queen. We at List 25 believe those to be appropriate titles for someone alleged to bathe in the blood of virgins, and in order to maintain their youth, according to court records, Elizabeth and several accomplices would lure young girls to their lair and then proceed to beat them, burn them, bite the flesh of their faces, freezes them, perform surgery on them, starve them, and abuse them sexually.
That's pretty fucked up.
Yeah, that is pretty fucked up. And that's the second woman on the list. That's pretty fucked up.
In fact, I would probably go so far as to say that's on a par with, possibly even exceeding the fucked upness of Ming the Merciless.
Oh, me.
I'm going to read up on her. Interesting.
Yeah, she's pretty fucked up. Okay, well, anyways, the next one. Adolf.
We need Buddha right now. Where's Buddha? Someone call Count Dankula. Buddha.
Look, dude, I really don't need to read the description of Hitler. I mean, everybody knows Hitler.
Yeah. You don't. You don't need to. Yeah. I think it would be difficult to discuss Hitler without drawing modern parallels.
Yeah. The one thing I wanted to say before we do anything, is the thing that I hate the most about today is how if you do anybody wrong in any kind of way, they compare you to Hitler. And we've got Hitler built up to where it's so bad. I don't even think Hitler was Hitler. I mean, this image that we have, he was a mean motherfucker, don't get me wrong, but it's just that he's like, Everything's Hitler.
Yeah, but even when you say that, Pimp, yeah, you have to bear in mind that Hitler was elected to power.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
He kind of did kill a lot of people to get there. The brown shirts really, it wasn't just a fair election. They intimidated a lot of people and killed a lot of people to get Hitler to where he got. But you're right, he was elected.
And I wonder exactly who is in the foundations of Trump Tower. Dum dum dum.
Apparently, though, Hitler loved to bake.
Yeah, he also liked flower arranging. Chrysanthemum.
Didn't like to pay his utility bills, though, apparently.
No, he wasn't a fan of utilities.
No, he wasn't. But he did like camp.
Or banks.
He really loved going. He really loved sending people to camp.
Well, let me clarify. He liked banks. He just didn't like bankers.
Yeah, I do.
Oh, see, that was a bit subtle, wasn't it? Maybe.
Yeah, a little bit.
We need Dankula's pug right fucking now. We just need it so badly right now.
I got a pit bull. I got a pit bull that can fart.
The next dog I get, I'm going to teach it to goose step.
Yeah, but can he fart the German national anthem?
He can't, but he can the Canadian one.
Well, that's close enough, I guess.
Close enough, yeah. Anyways, the next guy, Ivan the Fourth.
Ivan.
Yes.
Ivan a tinkle.
He was the first of.
I wondered when you were going to talk about the Russians.
Yeah. Well, anyways,
Ivan the Terrible.
Here, during one of his escapades to Poland, he had 1,000 prisoners brought before him every day to be executed. Assuming that he got full night's sleep, 8 hours, that would mean witnessing one execution every minute he was awake.
Yeah, and you got to think that he dozed off a few times. So,
Yeah, dude, that's a lot of fucking people just to witness. Yeah, God damn, he was mean.
Yeah,
he was not nice.
Yeah, I'm sure he delegated somebody to do the witnessing so he could go off and have some lunch.
Yeah, go watch that murder for me when I have a sandwich.
Exactly.
Quick history test. Where did vodka originate? Was it Russia or Poland?
It's Poland.
It was the Polish.
Correct.
Yeah,
that's right. Even though the Russians took it to the International Trade Court and they have the rights to use the name vodka like the French have the name champagne, even though the history book, it's 100 years, it's mentioned 100 years earlier in Polish history books and in Russian history books. So, sorry, Russia. No ski. Niet.
I think Russians mastered it, though.
Well, let's face it. They have the largest variety of potatoes to choose from.
That's what we used to call vodka. Me and my boys, because I used to drink vodka. We used to call it tater water.
Juice.
Yes. We used to call it tater water. Yeah, it was. Yeah, boy, I tell you what. Now vodka make you get mad. That was his problem. He drank a lot of vodka because vodka's an angry man's alcohol.
Oh no, not necessarily.
It was for me.
No,
but maybe I was just an asshole, though.
Yeah, if you want to get me mad in that sense, then yeah, you want to shove a funnel of fucking whiskey down my throat.
Well, see, whiskey was always bourbon's always been my favorite drink, but I did get, when I was in my 20s, I did get on this vodka kick, and alcohol just makes you stupid. Period. If you're in a bad mood, it makes it worse. And
it depends how you drink it.
Yeah, I was always in a bad mood back in my 20s. So it wasn't really the alcohol. It was just me wanting to fucking take it out on the world, I guess.
It's interesting that you mentioned bourbon in this context, because whiskey and me ain't friends, but bourbon is as close that I can get to actually enjoying drinking it.
I love it. I love whiskey, period. I mean, I don't drink a lot, but I drink like an adult. But my favorite whiskey is Maker's Mark, hands down. Yeah. Red Eye be right back. His dog needs a beating. I mean, to go outside. The next guy we're going to talk about, though, you know, he had one of the best mustaches in history.
Oh, you're so kind.
I'm talking about Mr. Stalin.
Yeah.
Oh, Joseph.
Joseph.
Oh, Joseph. Again, do I really need to read a description about Joseph Stalin?
Not really, but I think the most notable achievement on, and you know, this, you know, how many did we kill stakes?
Yeah.
I think the most notable thing about Stalin is his reasons for doing so.
Yeah, but you know, he killed around 60 million, right? Yeah.
Something along those lines, yeah.
In actuality, he was worse than Hitler.
Yeah.
And people always, when you think about the worst people always think of Hitler. Stalin was a motherfucker.
Yeah, but you see, the thing that makes Hitler stand out is that he was a showman. He made sure that the whole of Europe, in fact, the world in general, knew that he was up to this shit. Albeit not until after the war, but yeah, he did publish his final solution. Yeah. I mean, it's there. It's in pre-war documentation, and you have leaders all over the world signing up to this thing in principle. You know, I mean, that there was consensus that the Jews were a problem in civilized society because they essentially monopolized the financial services and straw man, scapegoat reasoning, blah, 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 yada, yada, yuck. Throwing the gays and homosexuals, you know, all of this other people under the bus as well, gypsies included. But all for the social good, and people were signing up to it left, right, and center.
You're right. Hitler was definitely a better showman than Stalin, but Stalin was worse. I mean, in my opinion, if I had to pick who's worse, Stalin, I would have to go with Stalin.
Yeah, Adolf Drumpf was a notable figure in that regard.
Yeah.
Sorry, Drumpf. That was his mother's maiden name. Sorry.
Yeah. Yes. Red,
it wasn't, by the way, for those taking this seriously.
The number 2 guy was is Mr. Stalin.
Oh, Stalin, yes.
He had a wonderful mustache, by the way.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys ever seen it. It's a joint production between Russians and Germans, I think, and the movie's called Stalingrad, and it's fucking horrifying. And what the Russians did in Stalingrad was they'd line troops up to send them into battle, right? And imagine a line of people, and there's like Russian officers standing there barking out orders and other people handing out shit. You're in line. The guy in front of you gets handed a rifle and a clip of bullets. Mm-hmm. You get handed a clip of fucking bullets. And if you don't run out when they say so, the officer there pulls out his pistol and shoots you in the fucking head in front of everyone to make an example of you. And what they say to you is, when the guy in front of you falls over, pick up the gun and fucking start firing.
Yeah.
That actually happened in World War II. They were that thin on having guns and shit that they were sending 2 men out with 1 gun. And it's just some of the things that happened in the Battle of Stalingrad. It's hell on earth, accurate description. Humanity was thrown out the fucking window in that city for an extended period of time. And, they named just the name of the city is just, it haunts me to this day that they haven't changed the name of it.
Yeah.
Then there is something to be said for the names of places causing certain things to linger in the collective memory longer.
You know, you have got a point there. It's kind of like the Confederate fucking statues and shit. We need to document it all and not sweep it under the rug. That's a good point. And keeping the names a good reminder. Thank you for setting me straight, sir.
Yeah,
no, it's not so much setting you straight.
Dumbass Australian.
It's more a case of
Yeah.
No, it's a good point. I kind of got a bit fucking emo there and went, oh, this should be
Yeah, you emotional
hurt
little
a few
fuck.
weeks.
You emotional little bastard.
You started enjoying that didgeridoo don't up your butt too much.
All right, the next guy who's number one on the list, and I'm kind of shocked that Hitler or Stalin didn't make number one.
Can we have a guess at who it is?
Yes, you can have a guess.
Okay. Who could it be? Come on, chat room, inspire us. Inspire us with your guesses.
Well, no, Honest Red is looking at the same. Honest Red in the chat room has been looking at the same list of him.
Well, he's excluded then.
Yeah, if you're looking at the list that I'm looking at, do not guess. Pimpmunk was number one.
Pimpmunk.
All right, I'm going to go with Courtney Love.
Wow, good guess, but not it.
Not Courtney Love.
Damn, Marcus.
Pauline Hanson? No, she's not that bad.
No, we've already talked about Pol Pot, Adam.
Let me think of a clever answer. Hang on.
It's just so many assholes to pick from, isn't there?
There is.
Pimpmunk beat Gandhi to death with the Bible.
No, what was a Torah? I
can't remember his fucking name, unfortunately, but I'm gonna go with one of the popes, and I can't remember his fucking name.
The German one that was in the Hitler Youth.
No.
Oh.
No. This is a historical pope going back to when Italy was a series of merchant city states.
We've already mentioned Genghis Khan too in the list, by the way, guys.
And he was one of those in one of the inquisitions that
Borgias.
It could be the Borgias. Yes, it could very well be the Borgias. Thank you, Oculus.
Yeah, I watched a very good series about
because that was a serious fucked up family.
Yeah. Well, anyways, I'm kind of shocked it's this guy though. We'll go ahead. It's Heinrich Himmler.
Heinrich, really?
Yeah, as the leader of the SS chief of Germany, and head of the Gestapo, he personally coordinated the deaths of nearly 10 million people. Well, I can get there. Yeah, and when the war was over, not even his former colleagues wanted anything to do with him. There's no doubt that these are the worst people ever. Oh, anyways, he goes on to talk about their list.
Yeah, it has to be said. It has to be said when your peers in the Third Reich, Hitler-esque, when they're turning away from you, then you've got to be a bit of a mean bastard.
Yeah, okay, but now I admit he should be in the list, but number one over Stalin, who killed 60 million people.
I've got a guess. Can I have a quick guess? Wouldn't happen to be Thomas D. Torquemada by any chance, would it? Who was in charge of the fucking Spanish Inquisition?
No, I just talked about who it was.
I was muted, so I wasn't listening.
Oh, it was Heinrich Himmler.
Him? Really?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, it was apparently.
What?
Yeah, that's the reason I said I can't. I mean, he should be on the list. Because he did orchestrate 10 million people's deaths. However, over Stalin, who killed 60 million people, really? You gonna put him over Stalin?
Yeah, but we're back to the showmanship again. I mean, at best you could say that at worst you could say Heinrich Himmler was ringmaster to Hitler's showmanship.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just mentioning this guy, Torquemada, and if I'm pronouncing that wrong in chat, please tell me. I'm Australian, don't blame me. We're fucking gimped when it comes to language, I know. But this guy was a piece of fucking shit, and he was the dude in charge of the Spanish Inquisition for a long time, and he was very fucking cruel. And this was at a time when Muslims were shitting themselves so much that they were converting to Catholicism. That's how bad these people were. It's
what year was this, Red?
Let me find here. He was born 1420. Let's see.
Ooh,
Grand Inquisitor. He became. The Pope went on to appoint a number of inquisitors for the Spanish kingdoms in early 1482. He was a year later. He was named the Grand Inquisitor of Spain, and he remained until his death in 1498. So,
were the Borgias around at this time?
I'll keep reading. I'm not sure. Do you check the Borgias and what date they were around? So this guy reigned from 1482 to 1498, and he did some heinous shit.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who I think should. Well, a lot of the ones who was on the list and should be over this guy, even though this guy's bad, really bad guy. He's a really bad guy.
Well, they're saying here that now put it in history's perspective. There was this guy executed over say over 2,000 people for heresy, and here's the deal with the Inquisition: they let you know that they were coming. So these people thought that they could pass the Inquisition. They stayed at home instead of running away, and they still got executed. Fuck.
Okay, so yeah, we are looking at the right time range for the Borgias. The Borgias actually provided two popes. Pope Calixtus III, 1455 to 1458, and Rodrigo Lanzol Borgia, Pope Alexander VI, from 1492 to 1503. When was your guy in the papal seat?
Well, he was Grand Inquisitor from 1483 to 1498 when he died.
Ah, right. So he was Inquisitor under these popes.
Yeah, he was a Grand Inquisitor of Spain, this guy. He was there for a year, and they went, "You're so good at being an Inquisitor. You're the fucking top dog, buddy. Go forth in the name of God."
Yeah. So that would have been under the Borgias.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm still surprised at him. Like, he was. I understand that he did a lot of fucked up shit, but.
Yeah, that's Vash says no one expects the Spanish Inquisition. Well, unless you're an Alicard, then you expect all of them.
Well, that's the crazy thing apparently about the Inquisition, was that they would let you know that they gave you approximately 30 days notice that you're going to get fucking grilled. And
they sent you out an invite, an RSVP.
Yeah. The crazy thing is that the people that were executed during this time under this man's reign, they stayed thinking we were good. I'm obviously Christian. I'm going to pass this, and they ended up being, quite dead. Frightening.
Quite dead. So the list is over with, and I'm probably going to end it a few minutes early today. So we're going to go ahead and take Q&A and tips and all that shit. However, I do want to announce that Vash has outdone Oculus on the flag, Red. The flag is now up to 150. And he said he gave the money. He said, "This flag is mine."
Oh.
Yeah, he threw down the gauntlet there again. So
yeah. Does he know who he's throwing down against though? That's the big question.
I don't know, but Oculus, whatever. It's
Oculus,
up to you guys.
Oculus has a saying: "Go big or go home, you fucking pussies." I've heard her say it several times, and this could get nasty.
Okay. Yeah. Right. Bunny throws in an explanation for Himmler because of all the heinous experiments that he did.
That's true. He did do a bunch of crazy shit to people.
Yeah, that's a very good point, Bunny, and I think that might actually tip the balance. Worth mentioning, of course, that those experiments, or rather the data from those experiments, is actually the bedrock underpinning a lot of current medical advancements.
Yeah. Honest Rizzo, when does the bidding end? I'm not telling you.
Might end in 5 minutes, might end in 5 days, might end in 5 weeks.
Yeah, exactly. The reason I'm not doing that because I don't want nobody like to wait to the last second and throw in $1 more than another person. If you're gonna play the game, you're gonna play it the way I want you to play it. Anyways,
It may never end.
Oh,
Yeah.
can I also give an honourable mention to the Japanese army during World War II for some sick fucker in the Japanese army went, you know what would be a really good idea? What if we got fleas infected with Black Death, the fucking plague, and we dropped them on villages of Chinese people and we tested different devices to get the fleas down on the ground alive and then check infection rates of the Chinese people, see how fast it spreads. And they actually they dropped plague bombs. And they designed these bombs so the thing would explode and rain fleas down from a height without killing the fleas. Fucking sick fuckers.
all right.
While we're thanking the Japanese for various things, can I just thank them for the bamboo shoot torture? Because that's fucking awesome.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I just want to announce this. And Oculus just threw down, Red. And she mentioned you in the statement. She says, like Red said, go big or go home. Shit. She is now $230.
Oh, wow.
I am psychic, man.
Shots fired.
Just call me Guru motherfucking Red Eye.
Okay,
Where's that link? I've got to boost this fucker up to something ridiculous.
Yeah, and Alexis did mention, Galen told us a story about a gentleman during World War II that did that sort. Yeah, that's pretty fucked up. And I forget the guy's name. Shame Galen isn't here. He could start yelling at us and telling us.
Okay, there we go. 1,543 and 12 cents.
Dun,
What?
dun, dun.
You actually have to give the money.
Look, dude, I was bluffing to try and get some fucking action going in the chat room. Jesus. You're your own worst fucking enemy, dude.
Yeah, I'm too.
Right on up, Mike.
I'm a fucking asshole for not screwing people over.
That's the worst panhandling I've ever seen in my entire life.
Hell, what was that? Yesterday we read that one state charges people to panhandle. You have to get a fucking license to panhandle and they charge you $10. Oh, that's fucked up.
$10. That's what? That's
I
half
did
a morning's work.
I did check it, Oculus, and I read it, and yeah, it's 230. Yep, 230. That's where it's at.
Okay, we currently have 230. Do I hear 250? 250, 250. 250 in the corner there. Do we have 250? No, yes, no. Going at 250.
Do it like the American auctioneers.
No, I think it's worthy of one of these. It's like, in a world, two people fight for one flag. Only one will be victorious. Who will capture the flag?
Well, Lady Wolfheart said, I'll boost it, LOL. Me and Vash will have the flag. Well, boost it. I mean, yeah, it's up to you guys, man. You know, Oculus is a bad bitch now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I said. You gotta go big, go home. Fucking, you might pull that pussy stick out, start slapping up bitches. Look out there.
Yeah. I mean, Lady Wolfheart's, you know, you've got two of them getting together here. So maybe a cabal of 3 or 4 could push it up to maybe what, 750?
Well, that's a couple. Lady Wolfheart and Vash are a couple. So they're together, like sexually.
Well, we don't need to include the icky stuff.
Wait, you said
unless you want the icky stuff.
Do they rub wee? Oh my god!
They pound putters.
Does PayPal transfer the icky? Oh god,
it does.
Using PayPal.
And see, them two doing it, that means I have to add. Let me make sure I'm right. Whoa, wait a minute. Okay, they just gave a big one too. Okay. Go big, huh? Let's do it. Okay, wait a minute. I got to add up to what he. So he was at 100. What was 120? Now he's at 270. He's at 270.
Ooh.
Yep, 270.
Oh, wait, I'm having another premonition. Oculus will reply, and there'll be 2 words accompanied by it, and they'll be chump change.
I
Oh.
don't think nobody's going to outdo Vash and Oculus. I think it's down to those 2. Maybe, though. Who knows? It really helps this VidCon trip. I tell you, guys, this is actually big for me, man. I appreciate you guys because this actually gets everything, helping me get everything I need for this, and so I appreciate it.
It's either going to be chump change or it could be small taters.
Small taters. I love the British accent. Taters.
It's going to be small taters.
Taters.
There you go.
Where do they farm taters in America? Is it Iowa? Is that where you farm your taters?
God damn it! People who add to Patreon are not called Patreons. They're called patrons. Did I say it wrong?
It's Tater Town.
Tater Town. This is one hell of expensive flag. It is, but it's worth it because it's me.
So what? My question is, which video is it you've put up for flagging?
Oh my God. Okay.
All of them.
So she isn't okay. What was she at? Oh, she was at 250, right? She's now at 350.
Oh,
Chump change, she says.
I am a psychic. I am actually psychotic, but we'll just go with psychic.
Maybe it's the winning bid that comes in with small taters.
Small taters.
Maybe it's Oculus. Vash that's going to come in with small taters. Ooh.
I don't know.
Okay, Lexus. Lexus, you want to be on tomorrow, by the way, on Fan Friday? I'd like for you to be on. So anyways, man, they beating the shit out of each other.
What's up, Alexis? What's she say? God damn it, people who
Patreon.
So they're not called Patreons. What are they called? Patrons. So they're called patrons.
Yeah,
okay.
patrons.
Got it clear. Patreon. Got it.
You're at 270. It's up to 350 though, Vash. Yes.
No. It's patrons.
Patreons.
Patrons.
It's not Patreons. I say Patreons myself. So I guess it is patrons, right? Yeah.
Patreon is the service. Patron, because you have patrons. Yeah, they are patronating you.
They are giving you patronage.
Well, I'm a
They
Fatrian.
are giving you patronage. Exactly.
I'm a Fatrian.
God damn it! I'm kind of turned on with all this talk of all the patronic action. Is that even a fucking word, patronic? It should be.
It is now, goddammit.
Pimpmunk now with patronic action.
I've got my own dictionary anyway, so we just added Red. Red, you're a good mod. You can add to the dictionary.
All right.
Oh, the Pimptionary.
Yeah, and of course, patronic has to be distinguished from patronic.
Yeah. Call Oxford University. We're shutting down the fucking goddamn safe space. I need an office. I'm moving in and taking over the dictionary. You fucking beauty. I'm gonna
While
fix
you're
this.
while you're there, could you do something about the word rape?
Of course. I'll put
Thank
it in
you.
big neon lights.
Now we're gonna change the name and call it aggressive sex.
I didn't actually mean that, but yeah, okay.
Aggressive sex.
Oh, Vash says the flag is ours.
Oh, let me go see.
There you go.
They're crazy people. Okay. Okay, so they gave 105 then. They was at 270, so they're at 375. Right? Yeah.
Oh, 370. And what was the last one? 350. 350.
Yeah.
350. So we're down to 25 increments.
And he said this is war.
Oh. a 25 increment and a declaration of war.
Sinistrous, remember what they did at Boston, wasting all that fucking tea. It is time to take our revenge.
Yes, that tea will be paid for, and it won't be Mexico.
What did I say it was at? 375 or 375.
Yeah, 375.
375. I have to add now, and this sucks. I'm an adder. We pissed in that tea. Vashy pissed in the tea.
Yeah, and called it coffee. Chish.
Okay, so every war I've seen, I've won through it. Okay, she just put 50. She was at 250. No, that's not right.
350.
She was at 350.
So she's at 400 now.
400. 400.
400.
Vash.
Attrition. She says every war she's won through attrition.
Aaron, the bagel maker. I love that name, by the way.
Hey,
we paid for the tea. That's why you're not all speaking German on that little island, of course.
Right. I was going to suggest, boss, that since we're at this level now, I even think that the person that doesn't get the flag should get a.
I've already said they're going to get something.
Yeah, they should get something.
Yeah, I've already said that. I said that last night.
But maybe something really special, like when we eventually get some merch done, maybe they get a first snap at a mug or something as well.
I was going to send a couple of my jizz.
Whoa. That's really generous of you, and maybe illegal depending on what courier service you use.
Yeah.
The post office. It'll work.
If you get one of those cups from Macca's with the sealable top and put a bit of tape over where the straw went in, you're probably good.
Yeah. But I'm definitely going to send them something for sure. And when I get merch going, I probably will send those two, even, both of them something, out of the merch part. Because they definitely deserve it. They definitely deserve it. Whoop, some sweet jismus.
Yeah, I was just looking at that thinking, okay, how would you package that? I'm guessing some sort of, some sort of glass jar and a cooler. Yeah.
Some ice packs, maybe.
Just fucking put a money shot into an ice cube tray and stick it in the freezer overnight, and then just express post it and hope for the fucking best.
In a plastic bag.
Nah, bugger the plastic bag. That's bad for the environment.
Yeah, but you don't want it leaking out through the fucking paper envelope, do you?
Use one of the old school waxed ones. That'll keep it in for a while.
For a while, yeah. What if it gets held up by customs?
4 months later, you get this sticky, moldy, crispy piece of shit. What the fuck is this?
What the fuck is this?
It's created a new sentient form of life.
There are some ancestral bonds that linger between the Aussies and the Brits. It has to be said.
Or maybe I can just send myself to you guys and y'all can jerk me off.
There you go. Yeah, Pimp will jump in a box and post himself.
Yeah, that shouldn't be a problem.
Hey, you can take all the jizz you want.
All the jizz you want. Just work me. Just feed me and water me every now and again.
Yeah, we could sell another flag. Yeah, and turn it into a trip.
There you go. That's crazy. Oh
no.
So okay, their last bid was what? 370.
375.
375. So they're at 400 and wait a minute, let me get this right. They gave 50. How much is that?
That'd be 425.
425. Yeah, okay. So now the bid is at 425. And they said the money. Wait a minute. I fucking closed it off. The money, blood, sports for a flag.
Ooh, yeah, money sports.
Yeah.
Fuck you and your blood sports.
Here's the thing Vash isn't taking into account is pounds sterling, and I'll just leave it at that.
Ooh.
The game may be fucking slightly in favor of one side of the fucking pond, so to speak, when it comes to monetary value. And if you go and look at what a pound's worth to an American dollar, someone may have a bit of an advantage. So we shall see.
What is it at the moment? 73?
Oh, let's put it this way. If I come over there with $1, I get about 50 fucking pence and a rude look from the person at the exchange window. You're bringing those fucking dollary dues over here, you rude bastards.
Oh, is it down that low?
Yeah, that's about on par. It's like the euro's better, but the pound's always just incredibly fucking strong.
Yeah. Pimp, get a ceramics maker.
That was Aussie dollars you were talking.
Yeah, Aussie dollars.
Right.
Bunny says, get a ceramics maker, use the 8-bit pimp design on a cup, sign it, and the one that doesn't outbid the other gets that cup. Maybe so. Maybe I could do that.
There we go.
Yeah. Well, I work my ass off a third shift in a factory. I can just go and volunteer for overtime. He's ready to throw down overtime work for this shit.
That's commitment.
Oh my God, these motherfuckers are crazy. I didn't expect this. I did not expect this.
How ironic that it should be on a hangout entitled Worst People Ever.
I know, right? I didn't even think about that. These motherfuckers are horrible. Oh, that's crazy. Luna's, I guess she's squirting in anticipation.
No. What she's saying is she's going to have a cup of coffee while she juices a monkey. Luna, that's bloody, what a horrible hobby. Like, why juice the poor little monkey? Look at the poor little guy. Look, cute monkey.
I don't know. I don't see the monkey complaining much.
Yeah, it looks fairly happy about the prospect of being kind of like that thing that was in Hitchhikers of the Guide of the Galaxy, pointing out all the choice cuts. It's like, I suggest eating part of my spare rib. It's bloody delicious.
Okay, let me mark this down. Okay.
I know some cabbages that would actually give you an argument on that.
I'm gonna mark this down here. The current bid's 425. Ain't that what I said? Yeah.
Oh, the monkey is her, apparently.
Ooh.
I think what she it's a reference to her going into a primal state, maybe.
Don't know.
I don't know.
Wait, Red Eye said that. Don't know.
I just don't know.
I don't know, just the way you said that. I don't know. Oh goodness.
It's a spit take.
It's a spit take. Calling black people monkeys and shit.
What? Nobody was. No, come on.
Nobody's called those baboons monkeys. Shit.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I'm about as white as a sheet. Well, as white as a pink sheet of paper. But but here's the thing. My ancestors were primal apes and proto monkeys as well.
Yeah.
Go figure.
Yeah. Yeah. Calling us whiteys are good boys. We didn't do nothing.
Vash is making this America against UK thing. America will take this flag.
This is about the Commonwealth.
I concede. If I tip any more, I'll be out of pocket. Vash wins unless that anonymous tipper comes back. Well, that's true. There is an anonymous tipper, and he's the one that got it going big the other day. But I don't think he's gonna probably not come back on that one. But I understand, Docus, and thank you so much. You will get something. I promise you that you will get something.
Hey, boss, I got a crazy suggestion, and it's not to rob Vash of his victory or anything, but what if we ordered a second flag and sent it to Oculus as well? Because she did donate a metric fuck ton of money.
Yeah, I don't know
That
about
is
getting a
a
bunch of
fucking
people.
awesome idea.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, but I can't get a bunch of people to sign 2 flags. I can't walk around with 2 flags and get everybody to sign. I'll do that with 1. I can get her flag and me sign it.
Well, here's the thing. You could have an A team of signees and a B team of signees.
Yeah, hey, well, listen, if you get it before you go to VidCon and just leave the fucker at the hotel, take one with you to VidCon as the primary for Vash, because he's obviously the winner.
And one for a meetup.
Yeah, leave one at the hotel because you're going to get some visitors at the hotel, and you might end up getting a bunch of signatures on it. But yeah, or she's happy with just your signature on it, boss. There you go.
Okay.
That's just a suggestion.
Yeah.
I thought that'd be a cool thing.
Yeah, and you've of course got the bonus factor that the one that stays in the hotel room might actually pick up a bit of jizz.
Well, I'm technically not staying in a motel, so.
Well, motel.
I'm staying in an apartment.
Billy the fridge
apartment.
what if Billy the fridge used it as like a sort of adult diaper for a night? Oh, there's a good bonus bit. Or at least run it up the crack of his ass.
I'll do it. I'll use it as a diaper for the night. But I will definitely do that. I'll get with it. I'll sign it with my cock.
I think we'll have to be a little careful here because we might run the risk of an underbid war, to try and get second place here.
Yeah. Well, that's okay too. No, that's fine. That's fine. Anyways, guys, the show is coming to an end. No diaper, please. I will definitely send you a flag. I'll try to get that flag if I can find it again on Amazon. Oops, you can get it on Amazon.
Uh-oh.
He's locked up. Russian hackers detected.
I really appreciate you so much. You're awesome people. Thank you.
Get out of here, Zuckerberg.
Thank you, Oculus. Thank you.
Nobody wants you.
Thank you, Oculus. Thank you, Vesh. Thank you, Red Eye and Brian, for joining me. Thank you, Brian, for filling in. I got a message from Steve on Twitter telling me why he didn't join. Steve McRae.
Oh.
Yeah,
I must meet him at some point. I've heard an awful lot about Steve McRae.
He's a cool dude. But anyways, he's a very good guy. The show has come to an end. Thank you for watching. I've had a lot of fun. I appreciate you guys. See you later.
See you guys.